children are useful for something.
Notice that he has a new familiar now. The ink raven that is inside of him did pop out a couple times, and
nice tattoo.
Again, I'm sorry, Adam. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It was okay. Everything was cool, and then when we did all that, I was like, "Oh, it's cool. Okay, we're just like the campaign world is kind of closed off. Now we're gonna merge the campaign worlds, and then Phi's gonna meet Phineas, and it'll be like either they'll be the bestest of bros, or it'll be just like fucking guys."
funny. Okay.
For this, for the stream that watched Demon Watch 2, I didn't, and I'm sorry. I didn't so much. I didn't do this on purpose.
Mark is catching up with Demon Watch. What are you on, like episode 13 or something like that?
Yeah, I just started 13. I think they're just getting out of the book now.
It's cool. The book was fun.
There's some such fun fights in there.
Oh yeah, that was, that was
Mario
crazy.
Brothers fights.
RP Magister. Okay. Or are you doing the legend lore first?
Legend lore first.
Sure. I think we have tokens for these things.
Yeah, we did. Come to think of it.
Watcher in the deep, deep one hidden, and the sea god's blessed form. I'm just going to move them to the tower.
Undwin's going to be around for the legend lore spell.
Okay. You waiting for Shoka to leave, or?
No, Shoka's welcome to say if you remember those statues we found.
Yes, the idols.
Yes, from the Dagon or Demogorgon, I can't remember. Anyway, I've learned the legend lore spell. I'm sure you're familiar with it. I was about to cast it on these items. We'll finally figure out what they're for, what they do. If you're interested, they are, of course, belong to the Ludus. I just had them for safekeeping.
Of course. Phineas?
Yes.
It was brought to my attention that my membership in Vatapole doesn't extend here in the same way I thought it did.
Do you mean it doesn't extend here?
As an arcane caster within the emblem of the Imperium.
I will take care of that for you.
Thank you.
Right after the spell.
Okay. Kind of derailing the. I'm a legend lore. I forgot to do my 4021A paperwork.
Fine, I'll fix it for you. Just let me have my fun.
My taxes this year. They didn't deduct the right amount.
Oh no.
Because the holdings changed because of Trump changing the tax laws and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah, it was not a fun. Like, it's due when? This Monday. This is Thursday's conversation. How much? Oh, okay.
I got a phone call from Revenue Canada, politely reminding me that they would like my tax returns for the last 3 years. At which point I went, say, fucking what? I haven't filed for last year yet, but the 2 previous years I filed. So needless to say, I had an interesting discussion with my accountant who told me, oh yeah, you didn't sign your, get the final signatures for the e-file these. Okay, when I came in with my 2017 taxes, that could have been a convenient time for you to bring up, hey, you haven't signed for 2016 yet. Maybe a phone call to come sign for 2017 would have been nice too.
I got successive emails and phone calls. You need to come in and sign. You need to come in and sign. You need to come in and sign. So I went in and signed, but there was like, huh?
So you feel like I shouldn't bitch about an extra 1,000?
No. make sure your employers are deducting the right amount from your paychecks. Surprise! Oh, fuck. All right.
Extra 5%.
Death and taxes, man. That's what I thought when I came home after that news. I'm like, there are two constants: death and taxes. All right. Which one of the idols are you gonna play with?
Let's start with the one that, you know what? Phineas, as an act of being a good host, is going to ask, Ashoka, do you have a preference for how I start?
There is one that you've labeled as the Watcher in the Deep. There's one called the Deep One Hidden, and the other one called the Sea God's Blessed Form.
The Watcher in the Deep.
Alrighty.
So you can like rub this on your nipple and see if anything fun happens?
Gonna lick it. Lick it all over. This is how Legend Lore works. It's very awkward when you have to do it to a person.
I'm just gonna grab a book.
Okay.
Where are you?
These things might be super cool for like. Alright, Mark. The best way to embarrass Lanziver.
Turn him into a fish monster. Release him into the sea.
That'll work too. See, the easiest way is just you kill him, right?
Yes, that is the easiest way.
Yeah. But it's kind of boring.
Yes, and it really, if you're killing someone, it's more like they disappear.
Yes. Yes.
And no one knows. Few people will know it's you, and people will continue to try to fuck with you.
Yes.
An example needs to be made, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So I have a feeling that either like an insanity spell is usually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Feeble mind is strong.
Yes.
Well, once you feeble mind, then you can do whatever you want.
This is true.
Yeah, Nem. We now have the Imp Chain Gang, and that means next turn, I think Ashoka's going to start looking for somebody to regenerate
Queen.
Nemi. Yeah, regenerate Nem.
That's a good time for that.
Okay, I've got 3 books.
We could try to revoke Lanziver's magic license, but I think it's more fun for him to do a thing and have it go horribly wrong, or to make him like it could be as simple as just a dominate spell and doing some stuff with dominate, right?
Yeah. You had an illusion of a kaiju rampaging through the city? No more magic for you.
You dominate the mage to force him to use Mage's Disjunction on the artifact. Oh!
Yes!
There are 3 sources that I'm going to sift through.
That or we just have Sid wait in his toilet.
Actually, it wouldn't be stab. It would be throw bombs.
Well, it's going to be waiting until wait till the portal opens and then bombs.
What are those? Oh!
Yeah.
All right, you begin your legend lore. Which one are you beginning it with?
The Watcher.
The Watcher in the Deep. Okay. Legend lore information. Okay, so you take out, you can add to your character sheet. The temple could provide this, or the tower could provide this. You have 4 pieces of ivory worth 50 gold pieces each, which is the focus that you need. You place the pieces of ivory one after another around the item itself. This would otherwise be around the topic if you didn't have the item on hand. of course, that casting would take 1d10 days. And if you only had rumors about the item, it would take 2d6 weeks of casting. 8-hour shifts, basically. But this will only take 1d4 times 10 minutes. Because the item is out of hand. It also burns up 250 gold pieces worth of material components of incense. Given that you're doing it in the tower, I will let the cost slide. A perk of being the Grand Mage.
Yep. 30 minutes.
Okay. So Unwin has a chance to speak to Ashoka, I guess, while the Master is concentrating on the Watcher in the Deep. This one looks like a little fish with a strange eye in the middle. They're all very creepy, Phineas.
How are you enjoying your studies, Unwin?
Well, the Grand Mage Phineas permitted me to learn how to be a summoner, and then I summoned the best dog ever, Benson. Say hello, Benson. Woof.
Hello, Benson. Best dog ever.
He's smart. You could shake a paw. Woof. Holds out his paw. Almost perfectly. Like, it's not like trying to do this. It just holds out his paw perfectly.
Benson, can you count?
Woof. One for yes. 2 for no. Anything else is sort of contextual, is what he says. It's a bright young lad.
Yeah. Unwin, could you do me a favor?
I'm supposed to be watching, actually. Sure, I guess.
Be careful.
Nods.
Watch out for Phineas.
Of course, Vatapul's a dangerous place.
Joker will nod.
You're his friend, right? You
Of course.
came here together from the capital, formed your ludus with Sargon, the Red Dragon. He says, like a kid talking about a fast car or wrestlers or yeah, exactly. Boyhood fascination in the dragon.
Yes. If anything happens, you could come to me for help if you need.
He nods. You and Magnus and the others?
Yes.
He smiles. I like gladiators. There's a knowing smile. Like,
You should be watching.
speaking of gladiators.
What's happening? I've been training here like a bastard.
Oh, we've got bad news. Good news and bad news.
Oh no. What's going on, guys?
What's going
Yeah,
on?
Med.
You missed your training roll by 1 die, so you're still...
It was really sad to watch. Actually, it was like, oh, so close.
It's all right.
Okay.
We're like, I got nothing else to do.
The legend lore, it feels like eels are swimming up your hand as you're concentrating on this thing bound by the ivory. It feels like you are going deep and dark, so deep into the ocean where light does not touch. You can feel the salt water ripping at your flesh and the pressures of the deep. And Phineas, instead of getting words, just gets images of something floating around down there of such great size and horror, simply casting off tiny bits of its flesh like little eggs that went and landed along the bottom of the sea. Phineas catches glimpse of that.
What the fuck?
And it sends chills into his spine, and you now know that this particular thing, amongst others, were shed off like weird kind of mutant eggs or scales or something of an abyssal horror by the name of Dagon, the shadow in the sea. This was made from the scales of his flesh. We'll call them nodes. Made from the nodes of Dagon's flesh.
Okay.
And you know with a knowledge planes what?
Plus 20. 28.
Dagon is a powerful abyssal entity that is
Good lord.
which is of demon lord status, meaning that they're so powerful that they can grant worshippers spells. With a 28, he is an abyssal power. You know that he has domains of chaos, destruction, evil, and water. And he is the demon lord of deformity, the sea, and sea monsters.
Okay.
You'd have to research more, but
That's enough for now.
there are other entities out there that commonly are misunderstood as being Dagon.
Mm-hmm.
Like some great old ones and other horrible aspects, but Dagon...
But this is from Dagon himself.
Yep. Dagon cast these off, and somehow these three little pearly things were fashioned into items and are on the very plane.
Ashoka.
These are minor... You learn that these are minor artifacts. Like, they're not major artifacts, they are minor artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that the one who holds the water in the deep, that depicts a strange one-eyed fish creature, the stone is smooth and slightly slimy to the touch, it weighs 10 pounds, will have their spells will help focus their spells as if through the lens of Dagon's eye. And what that translates into in powers is effectively you think that you'd get an increased caster level for divination and water descriptor spells when holding on to this thing.
Okay.
Woe to those who call upon Dagon's powers too many times. For the things crafted of his flesh deform.
As we have seen with Magnus. Okay, well that's a good one for today.
Okay, and I will paste this artifact where?
You know what? He is comfortable enough with Ashoka that you can keep it if you want, or I can... He tells you what it does.
Detestable.
You can keep it if you'd like, or I can store it for safekeeping here in the tower.
You'll also learn the way of destroying it. What would be a fun way of destroying this?
I don't know, is it something as hard to get as the tears of Asmodeus?
Put it in the mouth of Asmodeus.
Is there an angelic god of, like, crafting?
You mean like a Moradin type thing?
Yeah.
But not Dwarven?
There has to be.
Let's see
It
who
seems like there should be.
Let's see who his enemies
There
are.
was in Faerunian. There was Gond. I don't think he was good though. I think he was neutral, wasn't
I thought he was neutral good, but I could be wrong.
he? It's been a while since I played any Faerunian stuff, so I'm not positive, and I don't have access to the books at the moment.
Who hates Dagon?
Gond? Gond might hate Dagon. Sure, at the least.
Enemies. There we go.
We don't like each other. Like going to each other's bar mitzvahs or whatever. Now that Ahmed's here, this sending is going to go live!
What?
Oh, you're getting ascending.
I'm getting ascending? Oh, from who?
Oh, it's going to be from
Wait.
Ashoka
Who's getting ascending?
Arlen.
Arlen's getting ascending. Oh, okay.
Okay. These things can be destroyed by being struck by any piece of the rod of 7 parts, or by being cast into Moradin's forge and blessed by a solar.
Yeah, so let's pretty much say we don't have any of that available to us. We'll just hide them from the world.
Okay, you'd have to delve a little bit more as to why Dagon has to do with an artifact of law, and then Moradin diametrically opposed, kind of thing. You're pretty. You think it might be difficult to walk into Moradin's heaven with an evil artifact too. That might.
Unless you're like, can you break these, please?
Please! Break
I've already
them.
got fish hands. Get them. Take them, please. So, keep them here for safekeeping? I'll let you know what the other ones do once I've done that.
How many legend lores can you cast per day?
Hang on a sec. I think it's the only 6th level spell I know. So,
Might as well start busting these things out.
I get 2
What's
per
the
day.
legend of this table?
What's the legend of this table?
Which other one do you want to do?
Which one was the one that was touching Magnus when we found him?
Oh, that was... Which one was it? I don't remember now.
One of... It was... A second. The Sea God's Blessed Form.
Sea God. That one.
Which one are we using?
It would be good to know if he's got some form of tumor or curse upon him.
Agreed. Yes. I wonder if his other will have the same.
Well, it'd be really useful if we knew that he did have a tumor, then we could determine if it's not him by checking for a tumor.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll do Sea God's Blessed Form.
The Sea God's Blessed Form is made from the nodes of Dagon's flesh. This time you get the sensation that you are slowly turning into a fish. Like some sort of fish man. The idol is of a vaguely humanoid fish monster. The stone is smooth and slightly slimy to the touch. It weighs 10 pounds, and its power is... It regenerates 1 hit point per round when held.
It's like a ring of regeneration.
You must be touching or holding the idol for the regeneration to work. While touching the idol, the bearer is immune to bleed damage. If the wearer loses a limb, an organ, or any other body part while wearing the ring, or by holding the idol... Copy pasta.
Oof.
The idol regenerates as per the regenerate spell.
Dude,
Dude, that's awesome.
we could make such a killing selling, like, Magnus dongs. You just hold the thing, we cut it off, we sell it, it grows back.
Okay. It is made from the
We're
nodes...
live, I can't comment right now.
Legend lore. It is made from the nodes of Dagon's flesh. Dagon is the shadow in the sea. be careful for calling upon Dagon's powers, as the flesh that returns to your body is not your own.
Oh.
It is a Toma.
The destruction is that it must be cast into Morden's Forge by a lawful, good, legendary troll.
Oh yeah, those are just running around all over the place.
Or being struck by a piece of the Rod of Seven Parts.
Okay, yeah.
A lawful good legendary troll?
Yep.
Yeah.
Has to cast the thing into
you need
Morden's
to
Forge.
raise your own Frodo to throw the ring into Mount Doom.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's awesome. I like this. I like the first.
Those that have relied upon the sea god's blessed form too many times have simply disappeared into the sea.
I could see that.
Your tumor was like an eyeball, right, Ahmed? Just an eyeball in the middle of your back. I don't know.
I guess he disappeared for a little bit.
You could return Arlen's feet to him.
Or would they come back as fins? We're not sure.
Oh, well, it'd be a sea elf. That's fine.
Merman. Mermaid Arlen.
Why am I talking like that?
Return Grizzak's eye. It's just his creepy fish eye.
Oh.
Big goggly fish eye. It's Google. Oh.
Well, that was enlightening.
You're all clammy, Master.
Yes, well, it's what I've discovered, these have directly come from an abyssal lord, demon lord. They're minor artifacts, very rare. Destroying them nigh impossible at this point. So we will be keeping them for unless I won't take them from you, Ashoka, but recommend against using them. I suppose if a gladiator's being condemned, a little bit of fish parts won't do him any harm.
Only for emergencies, I suppose.
Fish parts, says Unwinnie's completely
Oh yes, it acts as regenerate spell. It's a divine spell. Heals damage and missing body parts, but the flesh is not your own, according to the legend lore. Magnus came into contact with one of these and grew a fish eye or something on its back. It was quite strange.
Ew.
It was a finger.
It was a fingers?
Well, there was a finger growing out your back. I thought it was an eyeball.
Oh, okay. Stop.
That's nothing.
Leave Twitchy alone.
Ring slot.
Yeah, you could play with it and hope to... What does the third one do? Yeah, what does the third one?
What does the third one do?
Yeah, because
Do
these
you
are all
have a
good
third
things.
spell?
I do not have a third spell. If you want to know what the third one does, I have to admit I'm curious. I'll have to do it tomorrow.
Well, I suppose I should probably cast this sending to Arlen.
I very much appreciate that. Come on, Gwyn. You'll get to see a sending spell. Very useful spell.
Oh, yes, yes. He's excited. Arlen, so this is while you were in Terrazleen, or Citadel.
Training, probably.
This was the same week as you were training for your own level.
Is this in the conversation?
You get a sending from Ashoka.
Friend, Terrazleen is connected to Prime World of Silver Dragon Rule, linked to Terrazleen Mythal. Learn what you can. Phineas, vis-a-vis Ashoka. Best of luck.
okay, you actually wrote it down. I'm like, what?
Yeah, you were in the middle of like praying to your deity and poring over some scrolls and doing your whatever it is that clerics do when they train. Pray harder, pray faster, pray better. Is this right? Is this right? No, you were in serene contemplation, and Ashoka disrupted you a bit. The spell is lingering, as there is a response that is possible.
Yes, there is. Friend. Here.
And we just start typing the words you say.
Friend.
Yep.
Sure. Friend. I will investigate. Prepare yourselves.
Demi, by the way, we can give you back your legs. We'll just hide it under this cushion on his chair.
Shadow swarms and shadow folk are about in north. Friend.
Just end it there.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to copy that down, Adam? Put it wherever the.
Certainly.
Yep.
This is the response.
Said response. The next morning, you do your legend lore spell. Only a single one. The last idol is called the Deep One Hidden.
Okay.
And is the most likely the one that Phineas may want to use.
I have a unless it does something amazing, like turns you literally into Superman, I don't think Phineas is using any of these things.
I'm very questionable.
The Deep One Hidden is a strange idol, roughly humanoid sarcophagus with many eyes. The stone is smooth and slightly slimy to the touch. It weighs 10 pounds. It is made from the node of Dagon's flesh. Dagon is the shadow in the sea, an abyssal power. Be careful for calling upon Dagon's powers, as your mind can become not of your own will, but Dagon's. It acts as per day, a pearl of power first, a pearl of power second, a pearl of power third, and a pearl of power fourth.
Huh.
Its method of destruction, it can be struck by any piece of the Rod of Seven Parts and it would break. Or it could be cast into Morden's Forge and
By a three-legged dog with the clap.
That has a British accent.
Wow. No. And blessed with a first through fourth circle spell from a holy redeemed devil or demon worshiper.
Those are those are easier to find than lawful.
Let's find the rod, guys.
That's kind of where we've been. That's actually easier to find than a
The
three
fucking lawful good
legendary
troll.
troll. Like what? Don't know where to find a legendary troll, let alone a lawful good one. God.
Yeah, they're just trolling us here.
I could see him using that, like if he knows it's gonna be a bad day today.
In emergency, having to cast a
Yeah,
fourth circle spell. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Did you have to attune
There's
to
going
it?
to be a major battle today.
Pick up. Boom.
Hold it.
And what's the drawback? It can take over your mind or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Your
yeah,
thoughts are not
that's-
your own.
Yeah, because that's.
What was the buff? What does it do?
Access
First-
of Pearl of Power 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then it makes you crazy?
It takes your mind away.
Makes your mind. Your thoughts are not your own. They become Dago. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Hmm.
That's not an everyday use item.
There's a whole bunch of things that we could do. I want to buy scrolls of disjunction and then dominate Lanzifer, and then curse Lanzifer with a wisdom curse.
You want to buy just 9th level scrolls? There's just 9th level scrolls everywhere. Let's go to the 9th circle scroll market and wish our way to
just hear
victory.
me out here.
Okay.
And we've got artifacts, right?
Yes.
So if we make Lanzifer cast disjunction through scrolls on the items and his will save is bad, then we could basically have Lanzifer lose all casting ability. To turn him into a 15th level guy with bad bab and a okay will save. And feats he can't use.
I like your thinking.
So who's Lanzifer again? Remind me.
He's the gnome wizard that.
Oh.
He's the gnome wizard who's plotting the overthrow of Phineas.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And he wants to do it through violence in the city.
If an artifact is destroyed, you must make a will save DC 25 or permanently lose all spellcasting abilities. What?
So this, I think,
These
is
abilities cannot be recovered by mortal magic, not even miracle or wish.
So this is what I think we should do.
Destroying
Right.
artifacts is a dangerous business and has a
This happened
95%
while I
chance
was
to attract the attention of some powerful being who has interest in connection with the device.
Dagon.
He did it.
That was him.
So
What a dangerous plot. Sure, I like it.
this guy wants to overthrow Phineas.
Yes.
Because I think this book gives me stats for Dagon.
Sid would be interested in this.
Well, I know. Well, I've been thinking of different methods, and so far this is the one that's the most
Fun.
fun. The other one would be just be like,
What do you mean? I can just kill him. I'll go over there right now. Boom, boom, he's dead.
okay,
That's
first,
from the that was from the Count of Monte Cristo.
kill him.
The Count of Monte Cristo. You sure that wasn't from Austin Powers? I take a gun, I shoot them, bang bang, they're dead. We know what happens.
We go home to supper. Yo. Yeah. Scotty Doe.
That's true. It also that's good. Good
Just
job.
adding sticky notes, so if we look up Dagon again.
Yeah, just because, Dagon. Oh, daggone it. I mean,
These are the things that Crixes was playing with.
So,
Yes.
Are we?
and it almost it would not be much of a stretch to surmise that Crixes went crazy by having these idols.
right.
That-
Well, the other way to do this is to
Right.
give Lanzifer one of the, just put one of these idols in his place.
Gift. It's a minor artifact. Enjoy.
His chair, in his ostentatious office.
Yep.
Would an idol of this nature be out of place?
You could probably end up stooshing it in there, but maybe hide it in plain sight,
Yes.
sort of thing.
No. Did he have anything that was the approximate size of the idol that he was handling?
Sure, he had lots of tchotchkes. I'm just gonna put my phone on charger. Give me a second.
Okay. Because if we replace one of his tchotchkes with the madness idol,
That would, yeah.
and then just let nature take its course.
Mm-hmm. See how that plot goes when you've got fish thoughts.
Yeah, he had all sorts of knickknacks and things that you could probably hide in plain sight.
Need him to touch it. Needs to be something he touches.
Well, eventually he finds it and he'll touch it then. I don't know.
So many methods.
All right, so you learn what it does, and then we'll get to Sid spying on Goodman.
Yes.
Or we just sovereign glue him to it and wait till it.
Put sovereign glue on his toilet seat.
Who am I spying on?
Sid was ordered by Ashoka to spy on Goodman, the Inquisitor that was lurking around the Towers of Faith.
Yeah, Sid's gonna be like, no.
Okay?
No. Not spying on him.
All right, Sid says no. What's Sid going to do instead?
Suppose you're scared?
There's a very good reason for that. He scares the living shit out of me. Did you see him? Did you see him?
Yes.
Yeah, he's very strange. He's strange. No.
I guess he hangs it at the Tower of the Sage sometimes, so you bump into him there.
I can spy on the ones. I can spy on the ones that work with him and see what they do. Maybe look at his files. But on him directly, no, nothing is about.
I want information on Goodman. Get it.
That's better.
What are we talking about?
Information on him. Sure. I'll do
go.
that.
The actually, Phineas, did you meet the Inquisitor?
Oh, the half fiend, yes.
Yes. You were with us actually, I think.
Yes, I was with you.
A fiend. Half fiend. Great.
Yes,
Fucking great.
it's subtle, but the signs are there.
Information.
Ooh, I could let you... No, it'll take too long.
Ashoka is just going through if we bring him to you and lay him on the floor before you, you could do it really quick.
Just take a half an hour nap here.
Marty,
Yes.
what Sid will do,
Napping.
Yep.
Sid will spy on the people that report to him and look at their documents, everything that they would write, that they would bring out of the meeting from him, store somewhere. He'd look over that stuff later.
Okay.
But he's like, if they're in a meeting room, he'll go there, but he's not gonna go to like their holy place, or if it's in his house, he's not gonna go to his house.
Okay.
And
Well,
before I do that
the
shit-
church is where most of his functionaries are. So,
Right,
and the
but
church
is
is
that-
big enough where they have quarters as well. So Sid will have to go to the church.
Yes, no, I've been there before, but I mean, if basically Sid doesn't want to get fucked again, so we're gonna scope around and see what the security's like before we do the thing.
Okay, so you're going to spend the week looking for gaps
Making
in the
sure
security.
there's ways out and shit like that. Also, I've set up my basically my what's it called, word of recall, to somewhere near Phineas's tower.
Okay. Do you want to put a dot on the map somewhere?
Sure.
I'll put a pink dot where?
Near the tower, just some noble's bedroom. It's under the bed.
I'll make it.
Because Sid will ask Phineas,
Is there a place I can teleport to here?
For the time being, yes.
Where?
Your room? Oh no, you can't. The front door.
The inside of the front door or the outside?
The outside.
No, I wouldn't want to bring attention to you. Never mind.
Sid's gonna find like in one of these houses is a place that's like in the attic somewhere, like in one of these homes.
Okay, so you're gonna sneak into an attic that doesn't look like it's used very much and make your graffiti mark.
Yeah.
Okay, so give me a D4. We'll just count this way.
Sure. 2s.
2. So you end up putting your we'll call it Sid's mark.
Yep.
In attic. Okay. Bunch of old furniture you end up clearing. The owners of the house don't even know you're there, and you end up kind of making your weird graffiti mark.
I'm gonna change it. Sorry, but I'm gonna change it every week. I'll cycle through a couple of houses every week. I'll change it.
Okay, Sid being his regular paranoid self.
Regular and Sid don't go in the same sentence.
Yeah, I was trying to describe just being Sid. Okay, great. And then you are spying. So part of spying well is probing for defenses and looking for exits and doing that. So unless you're being super paranoid,
I don't know. What can he do? He'll talk to Phineas. Phineas, what do these things have? What are their power, their abilities? Can he see the invisible creatures? Can he sense things that are very close to him?
Well, that's the thing with half that sort of bloodline. It's hard to say.
What if it was a full fiend? Would it be able to sense if I was close?
It depends on the fiend. Different fiends have different powers. It's.
If I was to get you a sample of his saliva, would that work?
Could I
Did you tell me
use
what it
that for
was?
legend lore? Maybe I shouldn't.
it's an interesting idea. Yeah, you haven't tried it before on people parts.
I could try a legend lore on that, or some fingernail clippings, or well, he has no hair, but
As somebody who loves divination as a school of stuff, and the fact that it's so much spying stuff, I am so happy right now. You don't understand. We can't pan down. It would be bad. We'd get pulled off Twitch.
Yeah. Okay.
And on to another site. Yeah.
try fingernail clippings or something like that. I'm not positive it will work, but there's a chance.
Let's see what I can do. See what I find. See how dirty he is.
Good luck.
Okay. Give me your 13 dice. Given that you've been here before and you're really good at spying, I'm gonna give you advantage.
13 D6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, now it's versus the church's 25 d6 in security. I'm joking.
You know what Vatapole I realize is missing? A fucking graveyard.
They just throw everybody in the water.
We
Throw 'em in the water.
Big Odiug that we just.
We just throw everyone in that pit. They disappear. We don't know where.
Okay, what I'm going to do is, it makes sense that it's near the Towers of Faith. There is a small public mausoleum.
Crematorium.
That is walled off because zombies are a thing.
Where is the...
There's a remake of that song, and it's in the gym all the time,
Oh, yeah, I heard
and
it.
it's like every 45 minutes. It was cool the first 2 times, maybe 3.
Enough now.
Enough now. Thank you. It
Okay,
lets me know I'm in the gym too long.
the Vatapole crypts. There are some public mausoleums and an ossuary, which is where you store bones. But their crypts of Vatapole are dug deep, and you actually kind of take an elevator down to where your family crypt door is, and there's like a huge well in the center. So we'll actually call it the crypt well.
Cool.
So, Sid, you're spying on this guy, and you learn that he does spend some of his time in the Towers of Faith. But he does go to the bathhouse. He seems to like to remain clean. How many successes did you get?
7, I think. Check.
So the bathhouse to be
8,
clean.
9. 9 with advantage. 3s are successes. So.
Oh yeah, thanks.
He goes to the bathhouse. He has a room at the Crystal Golem Estates.
Okay.
You know that the Crystal Golem Estates are overrun with Van Imp guards, as the Van Imp family is staying there.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently one of their family members is sick.
Okay. I know he goes to the bathhouse and he has a room. Okay.
He has a room in the Golem Estates, which suggests that he is not here. He keeps. He doesn't live here. Like, he doesn't have a home here. He keeps a regular schedule. He goes to the Towers of Faith in the morning. He goes to the bathhouse in the evening and returns back to the Crystal Golem Estates after the bathhouse. And his schedule is like, you could almost time your watch piece off of it.
In the bathhouse, is there like a nail clipping service and all that?
Yes, there is. He doesn't get his nails clipped every day, but you do manage to get a nail clipping.
Okay, that's what I'll use. I was actually wondering about something, Marty. We have life bubble. Does that stop scent?
I don't think so.
You surround yourself in a 1-inch blah 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 of air, blah blah blah.
I don't think it stops things going out. I think it stops things going in.
One more permanent barrier.
There are spells though that block scent. One evening he does break his routine, and instead of going to the bathhouse, he goes into the Vatapole crypts. After hours. He has his own key.
Okay, was there any report or anything? Oh, okay.
He has his own key, and he basically unlocks the gate and then closes it behind him. Now you could just fucking fly over.
Is it a fucking bar gate?
What's that?
What kind of gate is it?
It's an iron gate. There's an iron gate. There are 4 of them that face each wall of the public surface level crypts. But he does go to the well. There is a building that you walk into, and you take an elevator down. And you notice that there's a man there that nods to him, and he steps onto the platform, and he says, "To the basement," with a smile. The man just simply nods and begins cranking a crank, and the whole thing begins to disappear into the darkness below.
What time of night? And is it a full moon or anything weird like that?
It is very late, around midnight. And
he didn't do this last week.
He didn't do this in the 3 or 4 days. Yeah, the 3 or 4 days you've been following him, but tonight is the night where he's broken his routine.
This could be part of his weekly routine, though. Could be. The guy already knew where he's going. Okay.
All right. Are you going down the well? The building is covered, so the phase of the moon doesn't matter for light inside of the crypt. It's a covered building with a well that leads into the rock of the rise.
Yep, I'll go.
Okay, you're flying down into the darkness like a little bat. There are other bats down here, so it actually is really good for your spying. And you notice that there are landings on the 4 on the 4 sides. Sometimes a landing doesn't have a crypt entrance, but they're family crypt entrances or public crypts that are kind of coming off of the side of the elevator. The elevator is going deep, though.
Compared to where the water should be, should we have water by now?
No, you guys are on a big cliff. So
Okay, so
if
we haven't gotten to
if
water
no, you haven't gotten to street level, and but you get the sense that the crypts are getting newer as you're going down.
Okay.
Makes sort of sense, given that
They're digging lower as
they're
they
digging
go.
deeper as they go.
Yeah.
Some of the older crypts show signs of being under repair and at the top, and the crypts are newer families. Now, they could still maybe be several hundred years old,
Mm-hmm.
but eventually the elevator does stop.
Sorry, quick question. The guy operating the elevator,
Yep.
is he like a soldier or like a strange dude in shadowy garb, or is he just like a regular guy who hangs out there who does his thing?
He looked like sort of a lurch.
Okay.
like really brawny, kind of crooked teeth, kind of a crew cut haircut, some scarring, might have some half-orc blood. He had a simple tunic on and seemed to be familiar with this place. Like, he didn't seem like he was hiding.
Okay.
Maybe one of the local undertakers. They don't have to be priests. There's probably need for moving heavy things around. But he's doing a simple crank. The mechanism's doing most of the work. But finally it stops. You notice Caleb kind of looks down and sort of peers into the darkness, and then steps off towards a particular crypt. He steps off to the landing. He will say that there is must be something ceremonial, because there are little bells set up outside of the family crypts.
All of them?
All of them. They have different shaped bells and different, like, gargoyles holding the bells. But he rings this bell 9 times. Da-ding,
Yeah.
da-ding, 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 da-ding. And on the 9th one, there's a kind of beam of magic that goes around the entrance to the crypt.
Did he use something specific to do that, or was he just like hitting the bell?
He might have been using his ring.
Okay.
The magic seems to have opened the crypt door, and he's walking in. Like, this is it.
Inside?
Sid kind of positions himself across the way along the elevator. It is just an inky black field.
That. You like info, I like Sid.
You've seen this field before.
Yeah, Phineas has these.
Yep.
Does the guy wait for him? The guy who brought the elevator down.
Yeah, you glance up and he's just waiting. You see him picking his nose.
Okay, how much deeper does it go?
You go underneath. There's kind of a pit. There's some unfinished holes that haven't been claimed yet, and it looks like somebody might have been lazy with some of the bodies, because there's a whole pile of bones at the bottom.
Well, eventually you're gonna drop one or two, and then it's like, do we go all the way down and get it? I don't know.
Yeah, you see what might have been the old elevator, or the remnants of the old elevator. It's kind of drippy and maybe a little bit wet, damp down there. The place isn't necessary. Every once in a while you get like an odd crypt smell. He's now been in there for 5 rounds.
That's fine. I'm actually checking for I can come down here anytime, right?
Yeah, you fly into a building and then fly down. It would be pretty easy.
Easy.
Um,
Yeah,
poking
let's
your
not
head
go.
through, you might be able to hear what he's up to or see what he's up to.
Oh, sorry. I'm not gonna go for that bait.
No, you won the successes that you can glean some information, but
okay.
it does mean that Sid has to take a risk.
That's fine. It doesn't hurt to stick your head into an unknown dark area.
He walked through.
Sid's gonna slowly crawl in.
Okay. Sid crawls in. Yeah, there's a space beyond here, and you can see a little bit of light downwards. Like there's some steps that are downwards, and you can see that there are like bright, fiery torches. The torches are held up by what look like painful gripped hand wrought iron sconces along the walls.
Mm-hmm.
There's a weird mirror to the floor.
He's not here.
You can actually hear him.
Okay.
You actually hear a different voice. The voice is cold and stern and louder than a man's. Report. I have done what is needed. However, there is a complication. His memories have been erased, but there is a chance that if he steps upon the stones again, such magic may be wiped. Can he be eliminated? It will raise eyes. It will raise a few eyebrows here in Vatapul. He is a champion of a ludus, as well as he has connections in high places here. This seems beneath you, Goodman, to bother me with this. I merely wish to report the current state of things. I have several solutions in mind. Do not think that your wordplay impresses me, Inquisitor. If you think you have this under control, then bring it under control. If not, we have other protocols that we can enact. Those protocols may raise more suspicion than we have other protocols that will annihilate. I believe I have a solution in mind. Again with your words, actions. Upon your actions we shall judge. Of course. You feel the presence of the voice go away.
Does Goodman say something like, fuck my life, or something like that?
He squeaks, fuck my life in bat. Kind of sonars it out. 1 in 1,000 chance he's got the powers of a bat. Nope.
Sid's gonna walk out.
Sid's gonna fly out.
Eh.
Okay. Do you try to look at anything else before you go, or? The place reeked of sulfur. And like something in there, it was almost like the voice had breath that was like corpse rot.
Is there anything that could give me a knowledge of religion on what the fuck this guy is praying to?
Sure.
Because This doesn't sound like a five-faced god.
To a five-faced god would sound kind of like an Etten times 2.5.
Yeah, give me a knowledge religion.
Oh yeah, cause it has that. Knowledge is. I give you a. No, knowledge arcana is what I, or
give me
engineering.
an
That's all I got for you.
int check then.
Int check. Let's do an int check.
Someone needs to educate your spy.
I record things well. 16.
Yeah, it didn't sound like the five-faced god. There's a saying amongst the worshippers of the five-faced god is that the five-faced god doesn't talk to you. He talks through things. Or they talk through things. Five-faced god is not a chit-chatty deity. Or so the clack on the town when you spy on.
Okay.
I like the word, the clack.
The clack, the chatter!
You don't see the old clack, the old chatterbox here.
There's no holy symbols or anything like that on the wall or anything like that?
No, it's kind of like weird. No. You do hear him getting up and climbing up some stairs.
Okay, I'll fly out.
Okay. You remember which crypt it is?
Yeah. I want to see how he closes the place. Like when he leaves, does he ring the bell again, or?
Okay, so you're lingering. He does get back. He does pause. He turns around, and how would he close it? He does rap on the open door with his ring, and the magic seems to undo, and it's a regular old-looking door to a crypt. Heavy-looking door. It looks like there's a key. He goes to the elevator. He pulls a cord, which rings a bell up top, and then the whole thing starts cranking up.
Marty. Did I, at some point, get a look at his ring?
Sure. That'll be the last thing. His ring has a 9-pointed star on it.
For the 9 points of the five-faced god.
Alright. Okay, here we go. This is good stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Sid can call fair escape at this point.
Yep.
9 points for the 9 eyes of the five-faced god. You know, the warrior
Well
god, the
done,
conqueror god
Sid.
had a bad time and lost an eye.
Lost an eye.
Got a tier complex going.
Okay, so Sid has finished his spying.
Yeah.
He's contemplating this. I don't know if he's also mentioned that a little Nezumi was trying to spy on you when Leo Loram was here. I don't know if that is a conversation that comes up or not.
Yeah, he'll mention it to Ashoka.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. No need.
Cool. Secrets.
It's gonna lead to more questions.
Droll gets his medicine. You can get rid of his fatigue. 6 is spying on the coalition.
Yeah.
Now there's a bunch of Adam spy rolls, so 6 is the doppelganger, and he's gonna spy on the coalition.
Here, 1 second. I'm being kicked out of my hidey hole.
Keep the camera up.
What? No, it's fine.
Pats!
Just,
No
okay.
need.
Guilt. No,
The guilt kilt?
the guilt kilt. Yeah, guilty. You gotta wear a kilt. Down we go. Pulling a mock.
Yeah, I updated the Nightbot thing. The half an hour. Hopefully, it's not too spammy. But we do have episode guides for each of the campaigns, which may be helpful. And then We need to hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, our YouTube channel, to get a proper Die Dragon die in the channel URL, as opposed to UCWI48TMHIJGL. I'll just keep on, instead of some random string.
All right. How many? 14, 10, 6, 11?
12.
12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Holy shit.
Yeah. He's 6 is like, I got this. In fact, he just supplanted Leo on the way back, and I'm Leo now.
All right. So 6 learns the names of the other people on the council.
Yay!
And a little bit about them. Leo Laram, Zito Malagash, and Premax Pexar all came from the ludus called the sandals. What were they called before?
Can you they were go through that list again? I'm typing it out.
Yeah, their names are on their tokens. If you want spellings.
That's how not cheaty I was. I should go over there.
Yep.
And just cheat.
Right. Coalition. The Swift Sandal Ludus, now defunct, was bought by some private backers. When it was failing, and they moved it to Vatapol because it's a easier market to start up a gladiatorial ludus in, and renamed it the Coalition of the Crucible. Who do you want to know about first? So you know where they came from. You got 8 successes.
Tell me about Malagash.
Malagash is a retired gladiator called a Rudiari, who was given a honorary sword which won his freedom, but the only thing that he knows how to do is gladiate. So he's their trainer.
He's a Magnus.
He is a half-orc trainer, and he's a little long in the tooth.
Okay. Tell me about this Pramax Paxar.
Pramax Paxar is the only Imperial citizen on their little council.
Ooh.
He's an Imperial Academy graduate from a minor noble house called the Paxars, and he is an alchemist.
Are alchemists supposed to be registered or no?
They can be.
Interesting.
So that's 4 out of your successes. You can continue to pry into individuals or learn more stuff.
Give me some information on.
So you learn where they came
Titus
from.
is there. Titus is. We heard about Titus being there. Or tell me about their Primarch, their Primus.
Their Primus. Okay, Titus came from the Swift Sandal ludus. He is a Titus. He's veteran class, although he trounced another veteran quite easily. You learn about the fight. That was pretty easy to find out about. Him carving the letter T into the barbarian's chest was the talk of the town for a while. They definitely made a big splash on their first fight. They came out swinging too. One of the barbarians died. As for
they killed someone. Oh,
yep,
that's
on
good to know.
their first fight. Titus Aurelian Grunch is called the civilized orc. The Grunch, not Grunch, but Grunch family is actually a noble orc family. What I mean by this is they have tried to adopt imperial ways and prove that orcs can be part of the machinery.
And that's a helm that's on his token, right?
This is a helmet. Yep.
It's a cool helmet. I need to borrow it.
Okay, so where are they from? And you talked about 3 of them, so that's 4. What else?
Any information?
He's veteran. He's veteran class.
Veteran class. Were they? Did they find the charms on Leo?
Not sure.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the rat?
Yes. The rat's name is Zito, and it's definitely the rat that had so rudely was spying on you while you had your meeting with Leo. You don't know much about the rat. You get the sense that he has a bunch of stuff in, like he collects things, like a pack rat.
That's good to know. Okay. Any clue as to their backers? I don't know if I'm guessing it's unknown at this point. But...
You don't know how. You don't know anything about their backers, aside from they're anonymous. Nothing of spying on the Ludus gives you that information, and you don't know how they maintain communication. You don't know.
Okay. Right, and
so he asked about the backers, and they just don't know. Like the short time that you were spying on them.
Okay.
Which leaves Ashoka even more about it. As Ashoka breaks through the 4th wall and starts spying on who Foxfire actually is, and it's weird. It's so weird.
it's this dude who's got a job.
Right. Demon Lord Nemi and Drakester and Lucas. Hi, says Ashoka. What the fuck?
All right.
That's like the plot of a bad horror movie.
All right. They're. All right. What about Leo? What about Leo that I don't already know?
Leo Laram. He is the second son of a human blacksmith, whose first son took over the family business. He ended up doing the fine work, and he still has his finesmith tools.
All right. So
your doppelganger at this point in time tells you that Leo is the good one of the bunch.
Tell me more about the Paxar family.
I think that was 8.
Was it 8? Oh,
give me a second.
8. I'm just used to
1, 2, 3, 4,
tell me more.
5, 6, So the 4 masters, where they are is 5. 6 was their leader. Oh, no, there's 2 more. So which one, what are you digging in more of?
I want to know about Paxar. Tell me more about Paxar.
Paxar, you learn just as he's kind of alternating between learning new spells or whatever alchemists learn and brewing potions for the Ludus, and is generally just left alone if he's doing these things. He seems to have not a lot to do. Is wide berth. Underutilized, or they try to please him. You don't know why, but he's just learning spells and brewing potions.
Okay.
Are some of his daily activities.
All right. Anything else? The last one?
Mm-hmm.
Information on his family, if there's any.
The Paxars mostly have their the Paxar family are mostly located in the capital city. They have family ties to an off-world planet of the Imperium, one of the main worlds, called Pastoria.
Pastoria?
And as a little tidbit, past family members may have been cooks in the Imperial Court. Like far back in the Paxar lineage. They may have been entrusted with various princes' food. You know, I'm sure there's a whole politic and process and.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So he's a branch of the Paxar family, and he works for a fucking Ludus. So, like, you know, he's your Damien in, you know, relative importance in the grand scheme of the Empire.
So we've got to summarize. We've got family as a tool to pressure one. We've got greed and secrets to pressure another. It's easy to fuck with someone if you take stuff in or out of a secret stash. And then we have a goody two-shoes amongst a bunch of dicks. Also pretty good to pressure. Who's also susceptible to charms, as we found out. All right.
So you've paid attention. Little do you know that they spied on, I think this turn, they learned all about Zargon. Just to taunt you a little bit. They're like, tell us about the dragon. And they learned a bunch of shit. Perfect. Such a waste of energy and resources, too. Everyone fucking spying on each other, trying to get information.
Well, it's like reality.
Yeah. Well, reality. A giant waste of resources.
Humans do a whole bunch of things just countering the things other humans are doing. Yes, that's reality.
Yep.
Yeah, one person picks up the rock and moves it 2 feet to the left. Another person picks up, moves it 2 feet to the right, and then that's basically the economy: is move the rock back and forth.
Wow. It's a bit depressing. Let's go back to the undepressing thing that is game. All right, so Ashoka's network is doing spying. 14 dice on the Baydocks.
Tell me what's going on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, Baydocks, a lot of traffic for shipping comes through the Baydocks. The Baydocks and the Fingers compete. The Baydocks are closer to Castle Vadasca, so they're probably higher security, as you have to go through the Sea Tower near the Vatapole Lighthouse, and you're right next to things like the Vatapole Jail and other things. However, the Baydocks to the south are a little more rough and tumble because the House of the Grim Goblin means that nobody wants to have their home there, especially near the poor goblin house. The goblin numbers have dwindled, however, in the Baydocks because the goblins have spread throughout the city, In fact, there are some probably goblin holdouts that are in the northern part of city, and along, and then kind of like jamming up the Vatapole Civic Arena. Being a goblin might be a really good way to just wander around, and while you're considered scum, you're kind of like almost ignored because nobody wants to be around them. Is an interesting thought that comes to Ashoka.
Yeah. First, there's two parts to that.
People are very frightened of the one-tusk apothecary, and there are rumors that he uses people for components. Of course, that's lowbrow thinking to any wizard or any person, but it's curious that a powerful mage or alchemist type has chosen a particular house outside of Vatapole. While their presence is somewhat dwindled, there are guards still from the Ebon Shroud that are in the Goblin Queen's house. You do not know whether or not Davon Bane or Lord Bane is here still. They suspect that he might have a way to magically transport. That's the word on the street.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, they haven't built their tower thing yet. That's the lodestone.
No, that's not built yet.
Cool.
Then there's a lot of ships that have come for supplies in Castle Vidaska. Castle Vidaska must be going through a like war supplies, food. A lot of it's coming here. You know it's going to the castle, but you don't know what's happening to it after that.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
But it's like armies worth of supplies are coming through. They're also including guns and weapons. Okay, 4 dice for your Ludus spy network. They're just hanging out and making, looking at things at the Civic Arena.
4, 3,
3 successes. Okay, everyone's talking about the new Luduses, especially the T. Titus's opening maneuver. They think that that's great. In fact, some other gladiators are now might be practicing their own, like how to do their own carving of initials into people's flesh. It's become a fad. You do learn that the union of the Black Lotus will not be undone, that in addition to the tournament, every single one of their gladiators in this week's games has a match, including Ajax.
Who's Ajax fighting?
Ajax fighting, yeah, that's what I want to know.
Good question. Ajax is fighting the blind monk. I think his name is Ephraim Demos.
Yep.
And the paladin.
Ooh. My money's not on Ajax.
Smite Chaos.
Ajax might have a second gladiator with him.
It might change.
Might be a 2-on-2 match.
So far, aside from beating the piss out of Magnus that one time, Ajax has not shown very well, but that's because he's only been there for the big shows.
Damien's taken him out of 2 championship matches.
Yeah, but it was all kind of like in a weenie way. I mean,
Yeah, it was. No, believe me, Damien tried to kill him last time, but he had like 3 hit points and went, "Yeah, I get." And it was like,
It is time! It is time for the fighting! As we've got Sona in an exotic weapon match. We have Scarab fighting Kane, who is of the Independents. We have Ajax, who is fighting other monks in a high-profile fight. And we have the beginning opening matches of the first week
all right,
of the tournament of the Blood Rose.
So, betting for fights?
Yes.
Betting on Scarab?
Quick question: should the secondary masters be one level behind the masters or two?
1,
1.
Sid would be 11, right?
10.
No. 10th.
Based on Magnus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got.
Grizak and the others are on a different XP charge pool.
So let's see if Scarab.
Okay, so I'm going to start moving. Tokens to the fighting field. First, we have Zed and.
Can we throw like 10 talents on Scarab?
Sure, mark that down.
Cool.
Who's Scarab fighting?
Kane. Sorry.
Scarab's going to bet 8 talents on himself.
It is like blushing bride on wedding day. You go talk to.
Where's the betting sheet on it?
The betting
Party pages, I think.
It's in party pages. At the bottom, bets and matches, bets and gladiator matches.
Okay, here.
Okay, so Scarab, I'm just going to remove all that junk from last time, is going into the veins. Nova was acting as a guard.
Yep.
Who else was acting like a guard?
Zed was going.
Fleas is also going with the group, and Sona has a match.
Yep.
So there's a whole bunch of gays from the Conclave.
So,
Sorry.
okay.
Go ahead,
Whoever's editing that sheet, they can be the master of it. The Circus or the Conclave will bet. Here, let's see. We didn't.
Okay, I'm not going to touch anything. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
I'll do Scarab's thing last.
So Vatapole, Scarab, what the hell? Like M1 Gladiators, M1 versus. What is M1?
Where are you looking? Bets and gladiator.
There's a term M1. I don't know. Match one. I don't know. It's Scarab versus Kane. And the odds are 1-1, 2-1.
Sorry. So.
Oh no, Kane has got.
The next tab over.
Kane
Scarab
has.
is in 1.
Kane's advantage.
This is what it looks like, Adam.
Kane is not the favorite for this fight. It's 2-1 odds for.
Okay.
For Scarab.
I don't believe there's any special rules for this.
No, I think it's non-lethal.
Non-lethal, right?
Non-lethal? Okay.
Okay.
All right, and then we'll put. No, and we don't actually. We're really rather low on money because we did not do well in the season. Now, what's the... That's with winner, okay.
Go to Claw and bet 50 talents.
We'll bet 20 talents.
Big money, baby, big money, baby, big money, baby.
I don't like being put into a position where if we lose, we are, like... I don't go out and buy magic carpets with the entire bankroll. Okay?
Oh, fuck, that's funny.
You're not a winner. You're not a winner.
That's some funny shit.
All right, I'll add.
Funny shit right
You're betting 8K on yourself there,
Yes, 8,000 on myself.
Gracchus.
Little does he know that 3 of those talents are fake.
Don't lose. And then.
That is funny.
Actually, sure, we'll
Ajax.
get paid.
My advice, Gracchus, is bet everything. Because if you lose, you're probably dead.
It's a non-lethal match.
Yeah.
Don't worry, if he loses, we'll take the 10 grand. We'll make a statue that says Scarab was here.
About
Put
this
your armor on it.
Thanks for that.
the figurine, really.
The commemorative figurine. 6-inch action figure. Little switch in the back to make his arms go.
That's a big sword.
You guys are having
Oh,
fun.
if we have a crafter, we would actually do that for like as a side gig.
We would.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Our crafter got turned into the Grand Mage, though, so we need a new crafter. But we should hire a hype man. A merch man. Every once in a while, just come in and cast Fabricate to make a bunch of shirts that say, like, Magnus.
Is Nitzer? Did we say Nitzer became an independent, or is he still part of the? Do you remember?
I thought he was one of the fallen.
I think he's one of the fallen monks. Yeah.
He was independent and then went to the Fallen Monks.
Okay. Yeah, Kane was the big surprise. Okay, I need to find the paladin and the blind monk.
Okay, let me figure out how many other. What other fights are scheduled for this week? There's the Sona fight. Marty, the Sona match is. We're just using D6s for that one, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Are we? Yeah. Okay.
He's against one of their monks.
Cool.
Nameless monk sensei. Actually, we gave him a name, didn't we? No? Yes.
And did we find out who's the like? Are we finding out like day one of the tournament? Who's?
Yeah, day one of the tournament, you know who's fighting. It's that first week of the tournament.
Who is Fleas fighting? Or is Fleas fighting?
Tournament of the Blood Rose. Week 1 will be Barak Tarn versus Wazrog, Stonebad the Grouch versus Cyro, Fleas versus Pex, and Titus versus Neil the Timid.
Do we know what a Pex is?
Pex is a monk. A Kenku monk.
From where? Or is it from the monks?
Yep.
Okay, we'll put 2 talents on.
So Cyro and Titus are going to be in the veins. Let's get Cyro and Titus. Where's Cyro?
Fleas Pex is 1-to-1.
Yep.
Okay.
To the hilt! No, it's not to the hilt.
We'll put 5k on it. 5k on that fight from the Conclave.
Let's get Cyro onto that page.
Chanticleer is there, eh?
Yep. There's all sorts of gladiators in the veins today.
All sorts of gladiating.
Yep. I think Damien needs to steal himself. Oh, not Damien. Phineas needs to steal himself first, as he has right before the games start his meeting with the Duke.
Oh no.
You were just hoping this would have been missed. I was like, oh. It was
So
Ooh. Is this the same week that I was spying?
Yep.
Fuck.
So Sid could be at the games. I don't know if Sid is sitting with Nem and Ashoka. Alagesh is not there anymore.
No, Sid's doing his thing. He's actually gonna take a look at the. He's gonna be in the gladiatorial, on the veins,
Okay.
as a bat,
Yep.
and he'll. So we've got Fleece in there.
Yeah,
Right.
I've got them. I'm going to describe the scene as Zed, who is controlled by you guys. Zed, Scarab, and Fleas, Sona, Nova, Skullcrusher. There's a bunch of gladiators that are already in the veins.
Does Fleece want any potions?
Fleas could use a bark skin.
Okay. Nope, that's Narlin. And that's Magnus. I think I have the bark skin, yeah. I think it's only 3 at this level.
It should be a 4.
Bark skin. Yeah, I have a bark skin for him.
Okay, I've got Wazrog. I don't have Beric Tarn. Where
Yeah,
the
it's
hell
4.
is Beric
It's
Tarn?
4. As far as it-
Oh, is that your Vogel?
That's his Vogel.
Vogel's so fucking awesome.
Beric Tarn.
You could be a farmer. That voice is awesome.
The creepiest farmer ever.
You want this tomato?
It's
very
ripe.
ripe this year.
It's good for
Have
your
the good amount of
skin.
water in spring.
Sorry, we've got a lot going on for this day of fighting. This is like where the season truly begins.
It's plump and juicy. Bite it.
Yeah, stream is a little
Little janky.
yeah. I've had to restart it 2 or 3 times now.
Jank jank.
People know that I'm online, so it's too many people here trying to get to me.
What?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Trying to get a piece of me.
Okay, I don't know who else from your Ludus is
Leave me to my lunacy.
coming. Is Phineas watching? Oh, Phineas needs to go to see the Duke. First, he wanted to go see the Magistrate. So let's go back to the Vatapole map. I think I've got most things there. If you could get me a Kenku monk token, Adam, that would be really cool.
Sure.
Phineas doesn't attend the games anymore unless he has to, like for the season end games where he's supposed to.
And then,
ceremonial bees.
Mark,
Be there for ceremony.
do you know how to make tokens?
No.
Can you drop in a page somewhere a very timid looking knight or very timid warrior looking like dude? I'm thinking like Jockster from
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
what is it called? It's the fucking show called
Xena.
Dina, Warrior Princess. Yeah.
I'm getting the sort of the He-Man version of the Kenku monk going.
Okay, that's fine.
Slightly erotic.
Weird. Is everything all right, Master? Says Unwin. You look nervous.
Yes, and everything is fine. Everything will be just fine.
When I'm not feeling well, petting Benson makes me feel better.
Yes. I just have a meeting with the Duke today, so.
Is something wrong with the Duke? People are saying that the war is not going well to the north.
Yes, that is the rumor.
Okay. Do you want me to come with you?
No. In fact, I think today is a good day to take the day off from your studies.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Why
You
don't you return to the manor and just enjoy yourself?
Could I go to the games? I think a lot of the Conclave fighters and Beric Tarner's fighting today.
Certainly. Go cheer on your friends.
Oh, okay. Do we?
Now, Marty, did you want him timid looking? Because there's a very funny one where he's...
Yes.
You want him timid?
Yeah. I could maybe go and take your seat, sit beside Ashoka.
If Ashoka likes to do business, I believe, while he's at the games, why don't you leave Ashoka be?
I think the Countess has
let's-
seats.
Well, there you go.
Okay, I'll go with the Countess, if she'll have me. I hope she does.
Isn't the Countess in
Not yet. We're a week in the past.
Oh yeah, you're right. Next week.
Okay, come along, Benson. I hope they let Benson in.
Oh, well, you can always dismiss him, right? You're allowed to do that.
I
Every now
know.
and then.
I know. He says it's a thing. It's a good dog. I didn't mean it.
Okay, I just under party pages, I just added another page, and there's a kind of weird picture of him there.
Okay, we'll wait for that untitled page, and I'll create a token.
So I just dropped the link in chat. I
There we
actually
go.
have a tool on my computer right now.
Okay.
Because I'm apparently...
Title it J-Man.
This is Neil the Timid. This is a great picture of him. Make you feel bad for him before you...
Before you murder him.
Oh, it's Titus. It's Titus. 'Cause it's gonna... This is a non-lethal tournament. As a reminder.
Alright, I dropped the Kenku in as well. So it's in the same spot.
Neil the Timid. Put him in the Civic Arena. Where's the Kenku?
I just dropped him below Neil the Timid.
Well, in that page.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there's a bird. It looks like a bird. It's like very specific. You typed in Kenku monk and got a thing.
I took the fifth thing because the first few things weren't nearly on the nose enough. This was on the nose.
And Pex is kind of on the nose. Name. Pexage.
You know you can't peck as part of your monk flurry, right? although you could peck for your monk flurry, just
Here's Pex. Bertarn chumming with the monks. You know, if you ever want to join a proper gladiator school, you'd always come work for us, Barrack. Even Bertarn at home and alone, not gaining XP.
it would be funny if he dies on his first outing doing the thing he went and did by himself.
Oh, can't wait until this scene. The scene is really good. And the fights are going to be good as well. But going back to Vatapol, Phineas then sets out into the town and soon finds himself in the office of the magistrate. Apparently, the magistrate is friendly enough with Phineas that he moves around his morning appointment. Oh, Phineas, it's been a while.
Yes. Been quite busy with the work at the tower.
Yes, I hear that things are going well over there. I've noticed a few contracts have come through my office.
Yes, I've had to do some rehiring, get some new wards put up. Master Tacitus must have been quite occupied with his other duties, so things had fallen into disarray.
Ah, yes. Most unfortunate. Most unfortunate. I suppose we all have to retire someday.
I suppose, yes. I've come to you. I believe I should make a will.
Ah. The last will and testament of Phineas Garrett. Intriguing, he says. He takes out a piece of paper and he's about ready to write down. What property do you own?
I have funds. I have a list of magic items. He's probably got it prepared. Like just.
Okay, he stops writing. He looks at the list. Oh, yes. He writes down funds, magic items, and then he keeps. May I have these? I'll have a scribe make a copy.
Of course. I would like to leave them to my apprentice, at this time, should anything happen to.
Unwin the understudy.
Yes, they're still calling him the understudy.
Curious. I don't think I know his last name.
It is. I would know it because I went through a bunch of paperwork to get him freed.
I don't think Unwin was given one.
It might be Unwin, like human, or
Just Unwin.
or Unwin. They might have put down understudy as like whoever had to write down the first time.
Yep, it's Unwin the understudy. That's why they call him that. It's not his birth name, but it's not like they hand out birth certificates. It's just what he was called when he was sold, or when he was pushed into the system.
Well, if that's what's on his thing, that's what's on his thing. So.
Oh yes, well. Curious choice.
I have no one else.
My wife's got some family members that might be of the marrying age.
None that would make any use of my items. My family doesn't need my coin.
Yeah, it's good to be prepared at least.
Practicality and all that.
Your will and testament does bring up an interesting thing. You realize that these are all personally owned items, and these funds are not the tower's items, are they?
No, the tower's items will remain with the tower, and the guild itself will decide who the next master of the tower will be, and they will determine how those funds and items are used, as per tradition.
He is not of age yet, is he? 12, 13?
He's 13.
Ah, well, for him to own this amount of property, he would likely have to be registered in a different... All right. I'm sure you've got the paperwork for that.
I do, right here.
You could label yourself as his ward. This would give him a bit more of a legal leg to stand on should any of your family members come poking around for specific wealth. You would in effect be adopting him, and his name would no longer be understudy, and it would be Gret.
And this would provide him with legal standing?
Yes, legitimacy from a loyal family of citizens.
So, I suppose if that would help, then that's what we should do.
Very simple thing. Good idea, Nim.
Oh.
We shall have to have my son meet Unwin. Apparently, at the age of 13, he is climbing the ladder, so to speak.
Well, I suppose. Phineas would remember the dog's, his son's name. Mark does not.
Yeah, he was the one that caused a bunch of shit when he was given on his birthday.
Tried to get the
editor
elephant
of the
killed.
games. Yeah, he
Oh,
tried to
yes, that's right. Yes, well, does your son like dogs?
get Yari. The boys will be boys, is what he says. He Apparently, when I told him that he could not go to see the games because he was being bad, he wandered into the northern part of town and started betting on dog fights.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
Let's just say that our family does no longer have household pets.
Yes, well, Antwin has what it looks like a dog, but it's not. It's a harmless creature. It's an Eidolon. Very tame. Doesn't shed, actually. Wonderful.
Interesting. He just kind of
Yes,
leaves it at that. You get the sense that his son's a shit.
I will see if Antwin is up to some play. He's a rather hard-working young man. Very dedicated to his studies.
I hope some of that rubs off on my son, then. He might be a good influence.
Couldn't hurt.
All right, this paperwork would be rather simple. There'll be a declaration made in triplicate that this boy who you at one point owned, or at least owned his debt, is your ward.
All right, he signs whatever needs to be signed.
A case for celebration. I'll send the bill to the tower.
Oh, thank you.
There's no need for... I provided, how shall we say, legal counsel to the Grand Mage. 1 hour, he just puts the amount into there.
Okay.
You realize he's doing you a favor by charging the tower and not charging,
charging
your coin purse.
I leave him a Cure Light extract for the headaches.
Ah, thank you. He quickly takes it and puts it in his desk. Is there anything else I could do for you?
No, that'll be all for today. Thank you very much.
How is it, Grand Wizard, Grand Magus? Any, and he glances towards the statue of the Undying Emperor that overlooks his office.
Sense motive, because Mark's not getting what he's trying to say.
He's genuinely curious about your role.
My role
As Grand Magus.
Oh.
Any delicious intrigues that I should be aware of?
At this point, nothing you would want to be aware of.
We're gonna trade shoes for a day, he says as he was like, oh, okay, fine, you're not gonna give me anything. And he goes back to his Till next time, he pats the top of the desk where he put the potion into the drawer.
Yeah, Phineas stands up and puts his hand out to shake his hand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Thank you again.
He watches you leave and then fiddles with his papers, and you have left the courthouse in the office of the magistrate. Veru, where to now? You're upon the stinky streets of Vatapul. You can see at the end of the lane Kozuth's pipe, and there's some trail of smoke coming out of it.
Okay. Cast overland flight on myself. Just get there, get this over with.
Okay, are you flying respectfully into the castle?
Yes, will stop at the doors and all
okay.
that.
All right. So you're making your way. You see, kind of lingering in the courtyard, is this guy. You know, his name is Chamberlain Brannick. You get the sense that he does maybe the dirty work of the Duke or the Count.
Yeah,
He just gives you a, he
doesn't
just
knock
gives
on doors and just intimidates new people. Yeah, I remember him.
he just gives you a nod.
He nods
He
back.
seems to be rolling some tobacco when you arrive.
Okay.
You can see the war chaplain is training some troops and making them go through some exercises. Give me a D3. 1 is the Duke, 2 is Zargon, 3 is Duncan for the person you bump into first.
Please be Duncan. Please be.